This is a Teleview 127, a 21 millimeter ethos eyepiece in a 2-inch Everbright diagonal. So my longest telescope with my heaviest eyepiece. With the brake disengaged, it free floats, just like the stock brake allows it to do when it is disengaged. And that was my goal. The previous felt version always had a little bit of residual friction with it disengaged. It worked well, but it didn't accomplish the goal of the free floating with the brake disengaged. This UHMW tape accomplishes that goal. So the telescope free floats, just like that, and stops dead when the brake is engaged. Plenty of braking power to change an eyepiece. In fact, there's plenty of braking power to hold the telescope still while removing both the eyepiece and the diagonal. So plenty of braking power for eyepiece changes. There's also enough braking power to hold the telescope still while setting it up at the beginning of a session or breaking it down at the end of one, at least for this 5-inch refractor. So I have produced 5 of these version 6 brakes. One of them I'm obviously keeping for myself. Another one I'm sending to Rowan Astronomy. They did give me a lot of advice and encouragement along the way, and I really wanted them to have one. They did at one point say they might be interested in producing one. I'm not sure if they will or not, but either way, I wanted them to have a sample of this brake so that they could evaluate it. So that leaves these remaining 3, which I would like to get into the hands of some of you out there. Should someone want to make one of these on their own, you'd be looking at about $130, $140 in parts. Some of that is rolls of felt tape that you have to cut into small pieces, and a roll of the UHMW tape that you then have to cut, plus some of the tools that I bought to help me assemble these. So I like to sell each of these 3 for $95, which I think is a fair price. It reflects perhaps the amount of materials that go into one, plus shipping. This will enable me to have some others test it, perhaps give me some ideas for improvement. Although I think it's pretty final, perhaps there'll be some tweak that can be made based upon someone's, impression, which would be great. Should anybody be interested in one, I would ask that you private message me on Cloudy Nights. It won't necessarily be first come, first serve, but once I figure out who I'm going to send them to, I'll get these out to you by UPS.